Good morning. Happy Thursday. So I was asked a question on Tuesday that I forgot to answer yesterday. I finished by saying, change your expectation for appreciation. And somebody put a question mark saying, what do you mean by that? And those phrases, it's not as though you're not supposed to have expectations for yourself. But the point being that when you live filled with gratitude, then you don't have disappointment. So it's not that you don't still desire to achieve other things. And in fact, that's one of the things that sometimes I think people struggle with is they think that they need to have, that if they feel happy with where they are, that they're going to lose their desire for more. If you set goals that really motivate you, the opposite is actually true. That if you come from a place of gratitude for where you are and everything that you have, and that's what you fill yourself with, then you're motivated to do even more, because then you don't end suffering. And so the point, or you don't, then you end suffering. So the point of that phrase, exchange your expectation for appreciation, is the way to end suffering. Because many times your expectations are not about you, they're about other people and what they're going to do and how they're going to respond. And if your happiness in your life is dependent upon the actions of other people, you're never going to be happy. It's never going to happen. And achievers try to do that, right? Achievers try to control situations. Get around achievers as they get a little bit older, and all they worry about is safety. They start buying all kinds of video cameras. They start buying batteries, and they go to the doctor all the time. And that's because they're trying to control situations. Now they're trying to control their health in order to make sure that they get to enjoy this, what they've created for even longer. The problem is a lot of times they didn't focus on their health early in their life. They exchanged their health for money or success. And now they're going to spend the end of their life exchanging money to try to get their health back. So the point of the phrase, exchange your expectations for appreciation, is to make it so that you can end suffering, because most of the time that expectation is going to be based upon the actions of others. And then when you can end the suffering, when instead you just appreciate wherever you are and whatever you got and look at it as, okay, this is a gift. Life is happening for me, not to me. Now, where do I go from here? You're actually going to be even more motivated. Back when I used to do a great deal of family law, especially in paternity cases, when somebody would come in, what they really wanted is they wanted the court system to make their ex or soon-to-be ex or the father of their child to be a different person. That's what they really wanted. I mean, that's what it came down to, is this person isn't acting the way that I wanted them to act. They're not who I wanted them to be. And many times they're the same person that they were when they started the relationship, but the person, especially this tends to be people of feminine energy, but it can be masculine energy too, because I'm guilty of this, but they felt like they could fix them. They felt like they could change that person. And a lot of times, especially, if you're in a marriage that isn't going well, a lot of times people think, well, but a child will change it. It'll make it better. Yeah, well, what does it do? It makes it worse. So many, many times the conversations that I had to have with my clients had nothing to do with the law. And it was, look, this person's not going to become a different person because you're divorcing them. And the court can't make them a different person. They can't change their moral look on the world. The person has to do that. And you marrying them didn't change that. Divorcing them is going to make that worse. And so if all you do is focus on them and worry about them and worry about what they're going to do, then you're wasting your life. And you're definitely wasting whatever time that you have with your children. You should be focusing on your children and not focusing on the ex. That's how you deal with that situation, is you control and focus on the time that you have with your kids and influence them the best way that you can. Any time that you spend focusing on the other person is wasted energy. So today is the 9-year anniversary of me quitting drinking. So how did I do that? So, questions that I get asked. One of the things I get asked is, are you an alcoholic? And I always say, I'm not an alcoholic. Alcoholics go to meetings. Come on, that's a great joke. So I didn't go through any program. Not saying programs are bad. Programs are great. And if you read the big book is full of a lot of wonderful information that's good just in general. So all of those things, and obviously those things work. And they work because they go through the same system that we've talked about over time. So when I quit drinking, how did I do that? And, my situation wasn't that I drank every day. I wasn't sneaking drinks at lunch. I didn't have a bottle of booze in my car. I mean, I wasn't at that level at all. I could go days without drinking. I would go every first of the year to St. Patrick's Day without drinking. But I did not do anything in moderation. When I drank to excess every time that I drank. How many Coronas did I drink? As many as were there. And I was we got to have a couple more shots before we go. We got to have this and we got to have that. And at the time, alcohol really kind of dictated all of our family gatherings. They dictated, even Christmas and even birthdays. When we would go on trips, they revolved around alcohol. The holidays revolved around alcohol. So it very much governed our lives, and it certainly had a negative impact on my life. I mean, one of the days on the weekend I was going to be drinking, and when I did, I was going to drink to excess, and that meant that it impacted the next day. And there were a large number of events that I couldn't go without drinking. I mean, if it was golfing, if it was a birthday party, whatever. Those things always revolved around alcohol. So I had wanted to change that situation for a long time. I had wanted to. I had hoped to. I'd really liked it to change. All that language is great, but I had never made it a must. Well, then the universe sent me the must, and that was the whole building thing where the building next to mine collapsed. So as I'm dealing with that happened on June 15th, 9 years ago. So for about a week, my partner and I, my law partner at the time and I would work about an 18-hour day, and then I would go drink 9 Coronas so that I could sleep for like 3 hours and wake up and think of all the different things that I had to do and go back and just try to deal with all the chaos that was going on. And I did that for about a week to 10 days, and I thought, if I keep doing this, I'm going to die. So I'm going to have to make a significant change. So I went out and saw my daughter. And the last time that I got drunk was on 4th of July. We went to a Dodgers game, Doyers, as they say in Los Angeles. And, I'm one of the few non-drinkers you're ever going to meet that the last time I got drunk, I actually had a great time. It was a great night. We went to the game. We went by public transportation, which was something I wanted to do from Hollywood. It was a great game. We saw all kinds of stuff. There's interesting stories about the game, but in any case, that was the last time that I was intoxicated. And then, so I hadn't drank from July 4th until today. And today was the Aquin Open, which is a golf tournament my dad and I had been working with for, this would have been, I think it's 41st year. So this was 9 years ago. So it'd been over 30 years. In the meantime, what I had done is I said to myself over and over again, if I keep doing this, I'm going to die. I mean, I made it life or death. And I absolutely believe that. Every day I kept saying to myself, if you keep drinking, you're going to die. Because I knew that this thing that I was dealing with was going to go on for a long time. So I'm like, I have to massively change what I'm doing in order to survive this. So when I stopped, initially I just decided to stop. But what's the first thing I did? I got leverage, all right? I made it a must. If I keep doing this, I'm going to die. In order to get through this, I have to change not only that I'm drinking, but my overall health. So number one, I got leverage, going to die. Number two, I massively interrupted my pattern. Not only did I stop drinking, but I started exercising. I started running. I'd always walked, but I started running, and I started a juice fast. I decided I'm going to do a 30-day juice fast. So first, I stopped the drinking and started running. So I did that starting when I got back from my trip with my daughter in July. And so that had gone on for 2 weeks. And then the next major pattern interrupt is this golf tournament was revolved around drinking. It's a Catholic golf tournament. It was all about, it was everybody getting drunk. I didn't drink all day at the golf tournament, and I was the MC at the time, so somebody got me a beer when I got up to be the MC, so I drank a beer, and then somebody got me another one, and I took a drink out of it, and I looked at it, and I said, I'm done with this. I had been saying, when I had been doing my running, I'd been like, I have to quit or I'm going to die. I have to quit or I'm going to die. I have to quit. And I looked at it and I was like, I'm done. And I set it down. And so the second major pattern interrupt was I went to this event and I didn't drink. I had a beer and a sip. And as I left, I said, that's it. I'm not going to have any more. This is the path that I'm now on. So I continued my running, continued my juice fast. I'll be honest then for a little while, my family resisted it. My family was upset that I had quit. It freaked them out because, so what happens when you start to grow, the people that are close to you, they try to stop you from growing, not because they don't love you, but because they do. They want to hold you back. But the people that really support you, that'll change quickly. And it didn't last long, and my family members started supporting me. So then I set a goal. So I did it. So what did I do again? Massive leverage. I'm going to die. So that was my leverage. I interrupted my pattern, stopped drinking completely, and I didn't just stop. I exchanged it for something. I started running and I went on a juice fast. I'm going to use this opportunity to completely change my health. I can't control the building. I can't control what's going on. So I'm going to control myself. So I'm going to make myself the best that I can be in order to respond to this event. So I went on the juice fast and I started running. So then I set a goal. I said, okay, I had a big case going on at the time. And I said, I'm not going to do anything until this case is over. Because I knew that was going to be at least a year, maybe longer. And so for a long time I'm just stopped. I might still drink with this. I might still drink with that. I had an idea that I wanted to go to Scotland for the Ryder Cup with my dad. And I thought, maybe I'll have a pint when I go there. I said, I'm never going to be drunk again, but that, I might still have a drink. And I actually had that in my head for some time. But then my daughter, that's my greatest leverage, and my daughter said to me that it was the proudest thing I'd ever done for her. That was the proudest she'd ever been with me, was that I had quit drinking. I think it'd been about a year at that point. Well, then that was the end of that. So then I was like, all right, well, now, and once I'd stopped for a significant period of time, quitting was super easy. So I didn't quit right away. So, it came in steps. So what did I do? Massive leverage, interrupted my pattern, instilled a new pattern. So I started exercising and I started eating healthy. And then I positively reinforced it, positively with my family, then positively with my daughter, then positively with myself. And then over time, instead of becoming temporary, it became permanent. And so now today is 9 years, and now it's effortless. And actually, it wasn't long after the event that it was effortless. There's your pattern for creating any lasting change that you want on anything in your life. Get leverage, interrupt the pattern, instill a new pattern, and then positively reinforce it. That's it. That's all you need. So have a great Thursday, everybody. Let's make it a great day. We're all in this together. Thank you very much for watching. Let's take care of each other.